So a lot of people want to, improve their life, study consistently, maybe exercise more, or just work on their goals. But instead, they end up feeling tired, mentally stuck, distracted, and honestly just unmotivated most of the time.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say right away that feeling a lack of motivation is completely normal. It really is. Everyone goes through it.
Oh, for sure.
And the good news is that just small, gentle changes in your mindset and your daily habits, well, they are the key to slowly feeling more focused, energetic, and consistent again.
Exactly. Hey, listeners, welcome to English Made Simple, where you learn real English for real-life conversations in a simple and natural way. Today, we're doing a deep dive into why you feel unmotivated.
And more importantly, we're sharing 5 ways to overcome it. Because when you feel unmotivated, you often watch productivity videos hoping for a quick fix, right?
Oh, yeah, constantly. And then you just end up stuck in this loop of watching them and doing absolutely nothing.
Exactly. It's what we call the activation energy trap.
Right, so think about it like trying to lift a massive weight without warming up at all. We try to go from zero, which is like doing nothing, just lying in bed, straight to 100, doing the absolute hardest task on our list.
Yeah, and the activation energy for that is just way too high. Your brain just says no.
It really does. So the goal of this deep dive is to just lower that activation energy. We just need to figure out how to gently go from 0 to 50 first.
Right, 0 to 50. Because once you get there, the rest is easier. So we're going to share 5 simple steps you can take right now, even if you are literally lying in bed or sitting on your couch, just to build some momentum.
I love that. So let's get right into it. Step 1.
Step 1 is all about being your own cheerleader, which sounds a little cheesy, I know.
It does, yeah. And it's hard because when we feel unmotivated, our first instinct is usually to be super self-critical. We think, why can't I just do this?
Right, we beat ourselves up. But that mental exhaustion actually drains your energy even
Oh,
further.
definitely. It just makes you feel worse. You're basically yelling at yourself.
Yeah, which is why a mental pep talk is so powerful. Showing yourself compassion is actually the vital first step to getting out of a rut.
Okay, but how do we actually do that in real life?
Well, you can just close your eyes and talk to yourself like you would talk to a best friend. Like literally talk to yourself. Remind yourself of past wins.
Right, like, hey, remember when you aced that really difficult math quiz?
Exactly. Or remember how kind you were when you helped your friend move last week. Just simple things that prove you are capable.
I mean, I have to be honest, that might feel a little silly or, I don't know, too small at first. Does a little pep talk really work?
It does, yeah. It really does. Because validating your own feelings brings a sense of calm. It lowers the immediate pressure you're putting on yourself, which makes the next step much easier to take.
Okay, that makes sense. So you aren't beating yourself up anymore. The pressure is off. But how do you break out of the habit of just mindlessly scrolling on your phone? Because that's usually where I end up when I'm in bed.
Yeah, that brings us to point 2, which is switching to intentional content consumption. Because just staring at random, scattered, short-form videos, well, it keeps you paralyzed.
It really does. You just swipe, and suddenly an hour is gone.
Right. So instead of trying to force yourself off your device completely, which is, again, trying to go from 0 to 100, you should just change what you consume.
Change what you consume. Okay, so switch to intentional content. What does that actually look like?
Well, try putting on some long-form inspirational content, like a long, inspiring audio discussion. As you listen to people talk about overcoming their struggles, you naturally start to gravitate toward doing something helpful.
Oh, I've actually noticed this. You might be listening in bed and eventually the inspiration kind of kicks in and you find yourself getting up to fold laundry while you keep listening.
Exactly, you aren't forcing it. You can also watch structured content, like a series of videos that progresses logically, say, a course on organizing your calendar or learning watercolor painting.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Getting a little check mark for completing a video gives you a visual sense of progress, right?
Yes, exactly. And that feeling of progress is crucial for building momentum. You're tricking your brain into being productive.
That's a great tip. Speaking of momentum, I want to quickly jump in and say if you're enjoying this, subscribe to our channel for more English listening practice.
Yes, definitely subscribe. All right, so moving on to tip number 3. Once you start consuming structured content, your brain will naturally start generating its own ideas and worries.
Right. Suddenly you remember all the emails you have to send and all the chores you ignored. How do we process that without getting overwhelmed all over again?
Well, that's why watching generic advice videos can actually make you feel worse sometimes, because the person making the video doesn't know your specific personal obstacles.
Right, they don't know my exact life or my exact problems, so what's the solution?
Journaling. It's a way to move from reactive consumption to proactive problem solving. It helps you identify your unique roadblocks.
Okay, journaling. But I don't know, what if I don't want to get out a fancy paper notebook and a pen? That feels like too much work.
You don't even need to. You can just open a blank notes app on your phone. Just type freely for 2 to 5 minutes to get those dark clouds out of your head and onto the screen.
I love that. It's basically like emptying a heavy backpack,
Mm.
right? Once all those worries are outside of your head, you instantly feel lighter, you know?
Exactly. And because you feel lighter, that makes the activation energy required to actually start your day so much lower.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So point number 4. With a clearer mind, we can now start to look at the physical world around us for a spark of motivation.
Right. Because the problem is, we often take the world around us for granted, which leaves us feeling uninspired and, honestly, kind of small.
Yeah, we just kind of ignore everything in our house. A chair is just a chair.
Exactly. So the solution here is a different kind of gratitude. Instead of just listing things you are thankful for, look at the objects around you and realize they all started as an idea in a human being's head.
Wait, really? Give me an example of that.
Well, look at your incredibly comfortable bed sheets, or a convenient dishwasher, or even just a soothing lotion for dry skin. Someone had to imagine those things, figure out how to design them, and actually take action.
Wow. Yeah. I guess I never thought about it like that. Or even think of a massively successful fantasy book series. It all started with one person taking action in a cafe somewhere.
Exactly. And the real realization here is that if those people hadn't taken action, the world would have missed out. This means that you, the listener, also have incredible magical potential.
I love that shift in perspective. Taking action is how you contribute your unique traits to the fabric of humanity. It makes doing everyday things feel so much more meaningful.
It really does. It elevates your daily actions. But that brings us to point 5. You now have the mindset, the clarity, and the inspiration.
Right, but there's a catch.
There is. Because to take action on your potential, you need the most precious resource of all, which is time.
Oh, time. The classic problem. People always say, I don't have enough time. But then, they spend hours a day on social media, video games, or just binging shows.
Right. And that drains your attention span, steals your motivation, and literally wastes years of our lives.
So how do we fix it? How do we magically create time?
You have to magically create time by reallocating it. You must cut out the things that are less useful.
Okay, practically speaking, how do we actually do that without going crazy?
Well, the simplest way is to just delete the apps. Try removing them completely for 2 weeks, just a 2-week break.
Whoa, delete them. But what if I miss out on talking to my friends? That feels a bit extreme, don't you think?
I know it does, but think about it gently. Find an alternative way to chat. If they aren't willing to text you outside of social media app, they might not be the best friends to have.
Ouch. That's a harsh truth, but it's a fair point.
Ooh.
Okay, what else can we do if we don't want to delete everything?
Purge your following. Unfollow accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. And try to rewire the algorithm.
Rewire it how? Like clicking on different things?
Yes. Force your feed to show you relaxing, positive things like cute, fluffy dogs instead of content that makes you feel inadequate or stressed out.
I definitely need more fluffy dogs in my feed. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Any other tips for managing the apps?
Set double timers. Use your phone's built-in timer plus the app's own internal timer to create maximum friction when you try to overscroll.
Oh, so it's super annoying to keep watching. I like that. You basically make it harder to be lazy.
Exactly. It works. And before we finish, I want to leave everyone with a powerful summary thought. If you don't make the effort for the invisible benefits right now, you will face the visible consequences later.
That is incredibly true. The effort might be invisible today, but the results will show up eventually. Okay, let's do a very quick recap of the 5 tips for everyone listening. Number 1, be your own cheerleader.
Number 2, switch to intentional content.
Number 3, clear your mind with journaling.
Number 4, find inspiration in human potential.
And number 5, magically create time by limiting screen use.
Perfect.
Thank you all for joining us on this deep dive. Before you go, we want to hear from you. Comment where you're from, comment what affects your motivation the most, and please share if you found the episode helpful. See you next time.